Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kuser and today I brought you a serious topic. I want to talk about cancel culture and their consequences in the comic book industry. Um, if you don't know, the comic book industry, both the mainstream and the indie, are, well, from the feelings and thoughts of a lot of people in the internet, more specifically in Twitter, it's kind of like in shambles. People are feeling kind of like desperate, and they are noticed the shortage of jobs and the insecurity the future holds for this medium that is comics. And the couple events that been happen in the community, in the comic community, is the resurgence of cancel culture, specifically with the events that led to the suicide of Ed Peace Corps. Well, to his demise. I want to be respectful, but at the same time, I want to be truthful with what happened. And what I mean with a resurgence of cancel culture is that in the way that the industry is right now, is struggling. There is a certain groups within the industry that they lean far left politically and philosophically, so they are maintaining their power with systems of, let's say, peer pressure, and they use tactics such as cancel culture that for them is more like consequence culture, but how I see it is character assassination. They know that in the view of the public and the audience, if your name is dragged to the mud, you no longer will be part of the community. You will be shunned, and you will be exiled. And that is something common that has been happening for the last decade in the mainstream. We've been seeing over again how artists, writers, or people that are just giving their opinions about the current state of the industry are just shunned and excommunicated from ever work for either Marvel or DC or any major publisher here in America. So they know that these tactics are effective. Cancel culture and character assassination is nothing new. Even if you go back to history, or let's say you study human nature, you will find excommunication was something common within regions, different regions in the earth. Even in Rome, whenever you were deemed somebody, let's say you were deemed as a criminal, or you were accused or some various things, you will be shunned or you will become an slave. So these tactics, these ways to, let's say, maintain power and subdue the competition, because they want to destroy anybody who probably they will become eventually somebody dangerous for them. So let's say they use cancel culture as a tactic to destroy rivals, people who the left deemed unworthy of success, of recognition. And they use, let's say, their philosophies, their beliefs as a way to cover their tracks and justify their actions, even though they are accusing people of various things with any due process or any any, let's say, real charges. They just throw words to people to label them as such thing as other things. So they know that in the jury, well, in the public opinion, they can warp your personality and your character, and they can use, let's say, your sins, because they see as anything that is against their narrative as a sin. So they will use your sins as a way to expose the monster that you really are. So, but most of the time, the allegations are not well thought out. They are not brought to the light and examined, dissected. There is there is no proof, just allegations from people that you have to deem them as let's say a trustful source of information. They think that they can control the narrative, and because they are in a higher position where they can, let's say, build careers or destroy careers, they think that they can get away with a lot of stuff. And the peer pressure and a lot of these connections of whispers and ways to destroy people's careers in the indie sphere is called, and or is been called, the whisper network. It is a group of no more of 12 people. There are always the same bad actors within the comic book industry. They had a lot of power and influence within the industry, and they will gatekeep, and they will choose and deem worthy to work with somebody or give them assignments to somebody if they believe what they believe. Let's say if you are okay with transgenders, if you are against biology, history, you don't care if they erase, let's say, science, or they erase logic, and they will use these type of people that don't have any basis or any education, per se. They are easily manipulated, but you can easily manipulate them to do whatever you want them to do. So that's why they maintain power, because we have been ignoring like 3 or 4 generations that they don't have any guidance. The school system here in America just wasn't there for them. There is a lot of confusion. There is a lot of angst within my generation and the younger ones, There is a lot of nihilism, and they just need a crusade or some reason to feel alive, specifically, because there is an enjoyment in the human nature to be part of not just a community, but fighting for something bigger than yourself. And that's why religion is kind of like it was part of our history for a really, really long time. The religion filled that void for a lot of people, but the far left, the communists, they hate religions, all kind of religions, because they know that they will fill the void of the people and will give them a little bit more freedom and a little bit of critical thought. So the one of the targets is to destroy religion too. So that's why they hate a lot of Christians. And it happens that a lot of Christians are right wing. So most of the people who are deemed right wing, because there is the spectrum, the political spectrum here in America is right wing, the center, and the left. So there is a lot of people with a lot of different opinions. So they cannot handle like debates or just basic questions with their philosophies. So they need to use these tactics, these fear tactics, to manipulate and control people, control behavior. And that's how they are doing kind of like their service of social engineering in a way, because most of the left, they really think they are better than you, and you are just somebody who needs to be educated, even if that means that you will end up in a gulag or something like that, you know. So let's go back to the Ed Piskor situation. So with Ed Piskor was something that opened my eyes to the horrors and the dark side of the comic book industry. How a lot of people didn't even care. Everybody just dogpile and drag to the mud the name of Ed Piskor. Both sides of the political spectrum, the right, also as the left. It was a group of people who was waiting until the, let's say, the evidence of the allegations will be brought up. Or like me, I was just waiting until Ed for himself speak his part, and this part of the story, so we had a better understanding of what happened. And we just had his suicide letter, and I read his suicide letter. Thanks for the article from Fandom Polls. They just post the entire letter. Other sites, they will hide some content of the letter because Ed Piskor mentions the perpetrators of this campaign, this character assassination campaign, and the name of the people that are involved in these situations. So, well, as Ed Piskor said, the people who killed them are people that are well known in the industry. There are the same names, the same bad actors. The when when a cancellation happens from a mainstream artist, just the same group, one of them is involved into all that mess because they're desperate. We're living in a really, well, we are in harsh times. The economy here in America is really, it's terrible, and the future looks frightful. So they are just defending their positions of power, maintaining them as long as they can, but they didn't expect one of the one of their games, because they see them as games, and they had a dopamine hit whenever they have these type of accusations and they target people, and they love it when they get away with it. But this time he mentions every single one of them, and now they are kind of like exposed. And there is a lot of people, not just me, that wants to keep this conversation going. Cancel culture is not dead, it's still alive. Even in the indie sphere, we have our major players here in the Comicsgate community. They were canceled for C2E2. There was Ethan, Vance Scriver, Shane Davis, and John Malin, and a lot of other people that they don't have nothing to do with comics, or let's say they were guilty by association just for being friends of those three creators. And that situation too is abhorrent, and I'm just here to give you let's say not just my opinion, but give you kind of like my thought process of all of these situations that are still happening. Is like we're back into 2016 for some reason, but wars. Now they are killing people. They are using social media as a way to not just target people, but torture people, mock them, destroy their credibility. And I think that that culture, that way of consequence culture needs to end, because there is no point. There is no point for this witch hunt for both sides, because even the right does it too, even if they don't want to admit it. So what is the point of this witch hunt? This kind of like a petty war between both sides of the political spectrum, and nobody just stop their tracks and think what are they doing? What is the real contribution with all this nonsense, all this cultural war, all these warps of meanings and psychological warfare, and let's say unnecessary stress, and just despair to people that probably they didn't expect that culture will be like this. But I think that politics are driven by culture. So the communists know that the only way to control people is that if they not only have the control the means of production, they want to control culture too. So in that way, they can influence politics driven by culture, if you know what I mean. But that's kind of like the situations that I want to brought up into the conversation. I'm just gonna say it again. I'm a nobody. This is just my humble opinion. Take it with a grain of salt. And yeah, so please, if you like these type of mini videos that I can do while I'm doing my work and writing and doing my stuff in my projects on here in the independent community, hit a like, left a comment if you understand half of what I'm saying. And yeah, let's keep this conversation going. I think it is important. I think the everybody just needs to see this situation as a turning point and a way to just recess and rethink what they're doing, what is the real contribution of culture. And I'm just here to defend free speech and human rights because I respect human life. Sometimes I came off so uptight, but in the inside, I'm a person. I have feelings, and what happened to Ed Peace Corps is something horrible. I don't need to be a big fan of his to just be disgusted of what happened to him. And I think that neither you have to accept this kind of behavior from people that right now are just abusing their power and their political influence. So that's why I'm here. That's why I'm still here. I think that I want the cultural war to end. I just want to rebuild the community because there's a lot of hopelessness out there and a lot of fear, and people are desperate. And this community, more specifically the comic book community, needs help, needs reform. And I just expect that a lot of people can just realize what's going on and can help us creators or other individuals here in the indie sphere to rebuild what once was a really beautiful, let's say, hobby that was shared all over, not just America, all over the world, and we can just bring a little bit more fun. And I just want to end this video on a positive note because it's really hard, everything that is happening lately. I just think that a lot of people that they deem themselves as right-wing YouTubers, they need to talk about more about this situation, but they are not doing it. And I'm not gonna say that their silence is a way to comply to what happened. Even if they don't want to talk about a Peace Corps in a way that they can just say sorry for a lot of accusations they just throw at him with any evidence. But at the same way, I don't expect much from the left either. uh, I don't want this situation to just be forgotten and the people who are involved just go scot-free from what happened. That's it. Is I think the yeah, it's a hard topic. Is and probably I was just all over the place, and I'm sorry. And probably my my part where I'm saying goodbye to all of y'all was extended a little bit, but it's hard, man. It's not a topic that I want to talk about, but here I am. I just want this conversation to keep going, and I just want people to reflect. But okay, I will just shut up and give me your thoughts, please. Again, I will leave the links in the description of the articles that I've been reading. The a specific article of Ed Piscor where he mentions the people in his letter, his last reading words, and yeah, I'm sorry. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Hi again. Sorry to bother. I just wanted to show you guys some of my work. These are some chapters that I already did. They are published and available for you to read. If you like horror, if you like creatures, you like weird stuff like me, I will encourage you to read my anthology of horror stories called Dark Tales. You want to, you can follow me on my social media, and yeah, that will be all. Thank you. Bye bye.